yourself.
I correct myself. I had a few drinks.
I love it.
And so I went and I drove it out to see, and like I said, not drinking and driving. I had 2 drinks and I had eaten, but I was like, maybe I'll drive out and go see. And it was the night that she was.
You was under the limit.
Yeah, in other words, I was not drinking and driving, and I was legal.
Right.
And it was fine. I went out and I personally, this is a true story. This is my story. I was driving around looking for this other child that ended up going home. He would drove one way and I drove, we passed each other. So he got home perfectly fine. I didn't know what car, I didn't see his car because it was night, but I drove into the Prosser campground area and the Prosser lake area. I lived out I know Prosser, not the best is that I'm not the best at Prosser and I'm not the worst at Prosser. I mean, I've been out to Prosser several times. If it's daytime, I can pretty much tell you where we are. I can give it
did you back in the days do your little party in Prosser?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I partied my ass off. Like we all did. I mean, I graduated in the 90s. Yeah. Hello. I was 96. I graduated and this is when everybody was doing it. So,
nice.
And so anyway, my whole point though, is that when I was driving around, I couldn't see any of the signs. Like I couldn't see, like they were dark and I was just driving around. But I kept looking at all the signs and they were back. Like all I saw was like old signs that had been turned around is what I thought kind of situation, or taken down. I didn't see any signs. And I was like, what is going on? So because I'm going to get myself out of these situations without using Google. When I get, I'm in my own freaking town. I don't need to turn on Google to get out of here. I can figure it out.
You're like, I don't think I'm that drunk.
I know I had a few drinks, but I'm not that drunk. I think I could get myself home. Yeah, you would think. So I was sitting, and so I texted somebody, and I was like, I'm going to stay the night out here. I'm lost. I don't know where I am. And he goes, have you turned on Google? And I went, no, I'm refusing to turn on Google because I'm not that dumb. And if I have to turn on Google to get out of here, I will label myself.
I need to stop drinking if I gotta use you.
Like, even if I had one drink, I'm not like, no. Like, this is not okay. Like, I was so in bumfuck Egypt, I couldn't find myself out of a wet paper bag at that moment. I mean, it was like, what the fuck's going on? So anyway, this is why I'm telling this story though. It had nothing to do with the alcohol. But I couldn't figure out why I couldn't figure out where I was. And this is the honest to God truth. When I was sitting here, this is 100% the truth. If you turn out your lights in Truckee, and I could go outside and do this right now for every single one of you, and I could drive down, like it's still summertime. Well, it's starting to snow, but there's no snow yet. It is pitch black. Pitch black. Like there is no street lights. All you have are ground, trees, and sky. Ground, trees, and sky. Now, when you say ground, trees, and sky, and it's pitch black, and you turn on your headlights, like if you've ever been in a dark alley and you turn on your headlights in the rain, you can only see 5 feet ahead of you. And if you're in the city and you can only see 5 feet in front of you and nothing behind you, further than 5 feet and 20 feet behind you, 20 feet in front of you is all you can see. That's all you can see.
And that night was no moonlight.
Yeah, it was pitch black. And so when I say this is the honest to God truth. I thought what was in front of me when I was in Egypt, and I thought, where the fuck am I? And I was like, oh, that's the meadow right in front of me. That's what that is. Well, I'm really, really lucky that I didn't go that direction, because you know what? It was the water. What I ended up figuring out is that I was looking at the signs backwards, because I drove by a sign that I finally saw, and I saw day use at Prosser. I was at the day use Prosser Lake, where I was basically on the sand at day use what happened was I went in from the backside, and so I went in, let's say, from the south as opposed to the north. You know what I'm like? So I was looking at everything backwards. So I was flipped completely I was in my head. I thought everything that was on the left side was on the right side. I thought that everything was on the left side, like everything on the right side was on the left side. I was completely backwards. So when I thought there was, and it was pitch black, I didn't even know where I was. So if I had driven that night right into the wall, I would have done exactly what Kiely did. I would have drove myself right into the lake without knowing it. Like
so
that.
in your opinion, and again, we want to make sure that the people need to understand, because we don't want people start hating on you because your own opinion of what you believe it could have happened. In your words of what you believe that it could have happened, do you think that either she was under the influence, like what you believe? Like I'm gonna give you the start for you.
What I believe, I believe, and this is my belief. This is my theory. This is what I feel like happened. And and like I said, this is in my own head, just like Jrod has his own opinion, just like everybody has their own opinion. My opinion means nothing. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, I could be right. I could be 100% right, or I could be 100% wrong. Like, it's just what is my opinion. I think what she probably did, and like I said, this is my interpretation of it. I think that she was under the influence a little bit, and she knew that she needed to sober up a little bit because she was going to miss her curfew. And if her mom was already asleep, her mom wouldn't know that she'd stayed out past longer than she was supposed to. So I think she pulled away because there was something going on at the front entrance, which we all know about, like the fight that was happening there. I think she went the other direction to kind of cool off, to kind of smoke a cigarette, to kind of, listen to some music, to just kind of, have some downtime, like, like away from the party, to sober up so she could drive home. And I think what happened is that she climbed in the back seat. And when she climbed in the back seat, I think she was in park, and she either hit her when she climbed over. How many times have we all done it? Thought we were in park and we were in neutral, and you like all of a sudden you're in your driveway and all of a sudden you go backwards. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're like, why am I going backwards? Oh, I'm not in park. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I remember. What was that? It was a take about how that could have happened, because when they seen the vehicle stopping at the top of the hill, it stopped like for a second. It was like a second, and like it went in, like it went in.
It was 3.5 seconds. It was 3.5. It was 3.5 seconds, and that's what I'm saying. And 3.5, I think it was. Yeah, 3.5 or 3.6. It was something like for that car to stay.
So you think that, like, as soon as she parked, she tried to go to the back seat, and she didn't realize that, let's say, it was neutral, and by the time she got on the back, it just slid off.
Hold on, I had to answer a text. Hold on. Sorry if I went away.
And Jane said, Megs, something is not right about the Kiely, because she drove into the lake at the party. Come on now, someone had to know something. No, and I understand what you're saying. That, you know what I mean, but
that's why I have to shrug my shoulders. Like I said, everybody's gonna have a difference of opinion. Like I understand. My opinion is that she didn't know. That's why I always said it was the car must have been in neutral from day one. I just said that from day one, and everybody goes, "How did she know it was in neutral?" Sometimes, and this is just, I don't know there's a saying about it. Occam razor or whatever. Sometimes the easiest answer is just the answer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's just, the common sense answer is just the answer. There's no one that was making it out to be a bigger deal. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. I don't know.
And I totally understand that, because also, Occam's razor could be misleading, because if the information that he was given was a lie, then the Occam's razor is not going to be accurate. Because again, it's like the most common sense that it could have happened through the information that is being given. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's everybody. Like I said, everybody's gonna have their opinion. I can fight with This is what I got to after Miss G's situation.
You fought like for 2 years straight.
I did. I
You
like.
did. You
I